The No Nonsense Roundtable. It's a weekly show broadcast on Rochester, New York's 50,000-watt iHeart radio station, News Radio Wham 1180. The host, Dom Geneva, interviews guests from all walks of life, all with amazing stories to tell. What you are about to hear is a recording of a previous broadcast with limited commercials. Now, here's host Dom Geneva.
Well, welcome everybody to another edition of your No Nonsense Roundtable. I'm Dom Geneva, your host every Saturday right here on News Radio Wham 1180. And today I have, well, what I would say is one of my newest and best friends on the phone, Gene Cornish, a Rochester guy, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I would consider you to be a very, very, very good friend. Wouldn't you say that, Gene? Give me that honor of saying that?
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that.
And, you know, there's some people that are, you get to know them, and the more you get to know them, the more levels there are, and you get to know how they are and how they act and whatever. And I would say the thing about Gene is that he is 100%, I'm not blowing smoke at you, you are 100% authentic. You are your own guy. You've lived your life the way that you wanted to live your life. From a very young age, you knew what you wanted to do, and we're going to get a little bit into that. But one of the reasons that Gene's on the call right now as a member, founding member, and still a member of the Rascals is that the Rascals are going to be playing at Innovation Square Theater on the 16th, and there are tickets available. And if you haven't seen the show before, you really need to get to see the show, because the stuff that you guys do obviously is incredible.
Thank you. Looking forward to playing there.
Well, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a couple of minutes, because there might be some people who don't really realize what the Rascals have contributed to music and the culture of the United States. I want to take about maybe 2 or 3 minutes, maybe a little bit more, and play some of these clips from these songs. I mean, back in the day, the Rascals were as popular, I would say, as the Beatles. Now, the Rascals, you guys were together for 5 years, right?
That's correct. About 65 to 70.
Yeah, and the Beatles were around for 10. But during those 5 years, you put up a pretty good fight against the Beatles, man. And let me explain some of these songs before we play the songs for everybody. Good Lovin', Groovin', People Gotta Be Free, It's a Beautiful Morning, Mustang Sally. We're going to talk more about Mustangs in a little bit. Lonely Too Long, How Can I Be Sure, and A Girl Like You. And that's not all of them. I mean, these songs have woven their way into the culture of the United States. And I'm going to take a couple of seconds right now and play some of these songs for people, because once you hear them, you'll go, oh, that's the song.
On a Sunday afternoon, really, I've been lonely too long. I've been lonely too long. 1, 2, 3. Good love, good love, good love, good love. All the world over, so easy to see. People everywhere just wanna be free. Listen, please listen, that's the way it should be. Peace in the valley, people got to be free.
These are the songs that you're going to be hearing on the 16th. And more than that, Gene, right?
Oh, we do about 15, 18 songs, yeah.
Well, and the thing is, it's the Theater at Innovation Square. It holds, maybe 600 people. It's intimate. It's great. The acoustics are very, very good. So you're going to be here. You're going to travel in on the 15th. We're going to spend some time with some of your friends. One of the things I admire about you is that your friends that you had in Rochester as a boy are still your friends now, and you visit them.
Absolutely. I speak to Pat Prietti daily. George Sokolsky, who I know since the 4th grade, at least twice a month. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Bruce Pilato is my friend.
Yeah. And the high school you went to was?
Ben Franklin.
Ben Franklin, yes. We took a ride by there the other day when you were in town. And the thing is that you went up the ladder. You got to be very, very famous. You tell a story. I'd like you to tell the story once again about Ed Sullivan on the street, and one of your friends said that you didn't know Ed or whatever it was. But you're on Ed Sullivan, what, 4 times?
Well, are you there?
Yeah, there. You were on Ed Sullivan like 4 times, right?
Yeah, we did 4 times. And walking down the street with a friend of mine down Park Avenue, and a block away from where Ed Sullivan lived, and we're talking about doing the Ed Sullivan show. And I said, Ed Sullivan is a good friend. He said, come on, you don't know Ed Sullivan. I said, yes, I do. And sure enough, Ed Sullivan came walking out of his apartment building right towards me. And he walks up to me and says, hey, Gene, how you doing? How are the boys? How's Sid? How's everything? So we said, fine. And he left. And my friend said, why didn't you introduce me? I said, I don't know him.
Well, after he doubted you, yeah. You are, like I said, you're a pretty genuine guy. I think if I was to say something about you, you say what you mean and you mean what you say, and you don't have a lot of patience for people that are kind of wannabes.
No, I had no tolerance whatsoever. There was a time when I wanted to be too, so I got to be generous and accept them for what they are.
Yeah, and I see that in your kindness to your friends that you still see here. You haven't gotten up the ladder, and then what do they call it? They call your britches gotten too big for you. Some people get their britches too big for them, and they don't want to. They don't want to have the connections that they had from years ago, and that's not what I say. And part of that, quite frankly, is your love of Rochester. You're really a Rochester guy. I'll tell you a story. I interviewed somebody. I haven't done the interview yet, and he was supposed to be a quote unquote Rochester guy, and so I play a little word game with him, and I go, okay, chicken French or garbage plate, and he's like, oh, okay, garbage plate, whatever, and I go, Savoyas or Abbott's, and he goes, what's Savoyas?
There you go. There you go. He's not from Rochester.
No, he's not from Rochester. Well, and you tell the story about being a boy, and this is your love of the Red Wings, being a boy and in your bedroom at night, hearing the cheers at back then, was it still called Silver Stadium back then, or?
No, it was called Red Wing Stadium.
Red Wing Stadium.
I lived a block away. And when the home run was hit, if I was in my apartment, in my room, the building would shake a little bit. That's
a Rochester guy. And we're going to drop a couple extra names here too, because when you're in town, you're going to be, now you're coming in like on the 15th or so, and you're going to be at the House of Guitars. Well, I have some books here that got shipped to my house that you're going to sign and for a couple of your friends, I hear, right?
I got to stop by the House of Guitars and borrow a guitar to play.
Oh,
so I don't have to fly my guitar, but I probably won't have time to be signing any books there.
Okay, well, I'm going to have a couple of books that are available for my listeners. They can call in and or send me a message or whatever. And I have a couple extra books, and people who are listening might be able to get a signed copy when you're here. Last time last time you were here, I think I cooked for you, didn't I? Something or other, some clam sauce or something or other.
You made clam sauce, the best clam sauce I ever had.
and the honor of having this show sometimes is having people that I would not have ever known before. Now, you had that with Chuck Mercado. Now, Chuck is a member of not the National Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but the Rochester Music Hall of Fame. And his claim to fame is that he recorded at Motown back in the day. And the two of you are talking about stories that you have not really have known each other back then. But I remember he was telling the story about how you went to see him when he was playing when he was a young man, and how still appreciative he is of that. I mean, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 years later. He was mentioning that the other day to me.
He's a good man, very talented, good man. He deserves everything he's gotten. He deserves more.
We're going to pause now for a message or two.
Hey gang, this is the last 2 days of the Lima Crossroads Festival. It's a certified blast. Music, food, fun, and proceeds from the festival go to support groups like the Teresa House, Lima Ambulance, and the American Legion. And for the next 2 days, you'll be able to buy a t-shirt from my adopted hometown, Middle Finger Lake. They're $15 a piece, and I'll be donating the entire purchase price to the cause. Middle Finger Lake, where life is perfect, but could always be better. This is Dom for my friend John McClurg. John has 2 dealerships, McClurg Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and McClurg Chevrolet, both in Perry. Hey, you don't buy a car all that often, so when you do, shouldn't you go to a place you can put your trust in? You can depend on McClurg. John's dealerships are family dealerships, where people you deal with today are the people you will deal with tomorrow. No nonsense. Go visit them at McClurg ChryslerDodgeJeep.com or McClurgChevrolet.com. Well, welcome back. We're talking with Gene Cornish, a good friend of mine, a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Rochester Guy. Now, Gene, of all these songs, let me ask you some silly questions here. Of all these songs that you played, I mean, I guess the guitar riffs that you do, what's your favorite of the ones that you did? Is it Good Lovin'?
Well, Good Lovin' is a guitar riff that I'm kind of like labeled as that riff, but the grooving, there's no guitar. But grooving, when it was a hit, it allowed me to buy my parents a home in Long Island.
Yeah, and the story about grooving is that intuitively there are a lot of disc jockeys that didn't see the value in that at first, right?
Atlantic didn't want to release it.
Yeah,
A famous disc jockey, Murray the K, had heard the song, went over to Atlantic, and said, "This is going to be a number 1, I guarantee it."
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
We didn't want to release Good Lovin' originally because we weren't that thrilled with the mix, but it sold 5 million copies.
Holy!
Groovin' sold 4 million copies, and when People Gotta Be Free were ready to come out, they didn't want to put it out. They said, you're not black. You have no political stance. We said, this is not about politics. It's about the right in our contract to put the record out if we want it. I said, I'll tell you what, I told Ahmed Erdogan, the president, I said, if we only sell 200,000 copies, no royalties less. If we sell over 200,000, double our royalties, and he wouldn't go for it.
Well, now People Got to Be Free. It seems to me, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it seems to me that is a song. It was after the horrible assassinations that we had in the country, political assassinations we had at the time, Martin Luther King and Bobby Kennedy and whatever. And it seems to be something that you would do regardless of one person listened to it or a billion people listened to it. You were making a statement. Am I just sort of right about the way you were thinking about that?
Yeah, it was the right to have the freedom of religion, of thought, of art, of mind, have the freedom to be an American. We're free because we are Americans.
I was talking to I'll talk to listeners now. I was talking to Gene the other day, and we were talking about of all things we're Yankee fans, we're Yankee fans and Red Wings fans. I mean, I don't want to insult the Red Wings because they're associated with the Nationals, but you were Yankee fans from when I was a boy, and so's Gene, but the Red Wings are our favorite team. But I was drawing an analogy. Anybody who knows about baseball, knows about Bucky Dent, and Bucky Dent had a memory. He had a home run that was very significant. I won't go into the details. And so when I saw Bucky Dent one day, I said to Bucky, "What's the second most famous memory or a significant memory that you had?" And he said the second most significant memory, he says, it's actually the first memory that I had when I was a big league ball player, because when I came out of the tunnel going into the stadium, I realized that I finally made it. And I was saying this to Gene the other day, and I said, well, your moment probably was being on Ed Sullivan, right? And he goes, yeah. I mean, tell me more about that. I mean, how did you get first onto Ed Sullivan?
Well, we had a number one record, and our manager, Sid Bernstein, was friends with Ed Sullivan. So we did the show. It was a wonderful, notable idea, and it worked out great for us. We sold millions more records. We did it 4 times. But one of the most memorable moments is known as the Rascal, was getting my Rochester Red Wing uniform from Naomi Silver.
That makes me feel, that really does make me feel good, because I'm going to take a little bit of a credit for the idea, because we were talking about for Gene Cornish Day, getting a jersey for you. And I talked to Dan Mason and Naomi. I said, well, why don't we get one, not only just a jersey, but his number, whatever his number would be. And I'll still remember the number is 14. The number is 14 because you were born on the 14th of May. It is, right?
May.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And I got my name on the back.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, I'm going to take a little bit of credit for this. And we got you 2, so you could wear one and you could hang one on the wall.
Yeah, I got it on my wall here now.
Yeah. But, the thing about baseball, not to get off topic of music, but, baseball is like music. It brings people together. I would bond with my 2 girls going to baseball games, especially the Red Wings, because you can buy an affordable ticket and you can go and have fireworks after a lot of the games and whatever. But whether they do well or they don't do well, you just go there because it's the Red Wings. Naomi is just she's spectacular. She knows what she's doing, and she's woven her way, again, like you have, into the community of the United States. She's woven her way into Rochester with this this team.
Without a doubt, the Silver family is responsible for the Red Wings baseball and summer entertainment in Rochester.
Yeah. Now, you were telling, let's talk about Ed Sullivan a little bit more. You were telling me, back then there was no instant replay, and you were telling a story, and it's worth repeating, about one of your friends, and you played the show, and they asked them how they liked the show, and they didn't.
Yeah. Well, what happened was, we didn't have any monitors, and there were no such thing as videotape, VCRs, so you couldn't see the show. You just did the show and went home. So I asked my friend, how'd you like the show? He said, well, it was good. He said, but you were totally out of tune. I said, what? Well, it took them 3 days to give in, to confess that they were putting me on. I was miserable for 3 days.
I'm surprised he's still alive. I mean, after doing that to you. Now, don't tell me any secrets, but is this one of these people you have dinner with when you come to Rochester?
Oh, absolutely.
This is one of those guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to guess who this is now.
I eat dinner at his brother's restaurant, Prieties.
Ah, okay.
And we're gonna have dinner at the South Allen.
Now I know who it is. I'm not going to share this to 10 or 12,000 people, but now I have something on them. That's pretty good. So you're going from. Let's give a little bit more retail about this thing. The theater at Innovation Square, and it's a really easy website address. It's Theater AIS, Theater at Innovation Square, Theater AIS, and that's where you can get your tickets. Tickets are very reasonable. It's a nice place. It's plenty of parking. And if you can't make the 16th, but Gene, you're going to be in Tonawanda. We're going to give people the information on that on my website. The shows that you're doing now. Now, how much of a run do you do when you do shows like this? I mean, how many shows are you doing a year?
Well,
it kind of comes and goes by.
We play weekends, maybe 2 weekends a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite place? I mean, I know you love a Rochester, so coming here is going to be the answer for you. Like your favorite place. Well, what's your second favorite place? Where do you go that you really enjoy? And is it part of the acoustics of it, the theater or whatever, or is it the atmosphere and the people?
We enjoy the Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut. That's very much. We just played Sony Hall in New York.
Wow. Well, that's cool. Yeah. You had a Broadway show there for a while, right?
No, we didn't have it there.
Well, not there. I mean, you had a Broadway. You had a Broadway show.
12 years ago with the Richard Rogers. Yeah.
Yeah. And how long did that run for?
3 weeks.
That's it. I think
5 shows a week for 3 weeks.
5 shows a week for 3 weeks. We'll be right back after this. And now here's co-founder of the Rascals, inductee of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Rochester Guy, Gene Cornish, to say a word about his favorite team.
The Red Wings rock. I've been a fan since I was a kid in my bedroom hearing the cheers from Silver Stadium. Memories I will never forget. Here's what's happening this week.
The Red Wings are home this weekend. Friday is Faith and Family Night with a cup giveaway and fireworks. Saturday is Grateful Dead Night with fireworks. Sunday is Dino Day, and kids can run the bases. For tickets, visit redwingsbaseball.com.
Well, welcome back. We're talking with Gene Cornish, a good friend of mine, a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Rochester Guy. There's a lot to be said about the longevity of the Rascals and what you guys have done. I know from talking to you, you've crossed paths with a lot of different favorite people. I mean, I was talking to Gene one day, and he's talking about being at George Harrison's house.
Yeah, George invited us to his house when we were in London. Gave Jimi Hendrix his first gig in America when he had the Jimi Hendrix Experience. He was also the person who filled in for me after I left Joey D and the Starletters. So we had a big connection.
And you had your own group. You sent me this picture the other day of you at 14.
Yeah, that was a picture taken we had these ping pong tables we put together at the Maplewood Park Pavilion, and we took a picture there.
Well, the thing about you is that the story goes is that your parents were very, very supportive of you, which is it's a wonderful thing, because your dad seemed like he was a wonderful mentor, and your mother supported you. I'm going to change the subject just a little bit. So I'm going to tell the audience now, Gene, this kind of shows you what Gene is made of. You might think that he's a tough guy on the outside, but he's got a really tender heart. Now we're at Don's Original. We have to go to Don's. When you're here, we have to go to Red Wings game. We have to go to Don's Original. We got to go to Prayetti's restaurant if we can make it, and the House of Guitars. Those are the things. Those are the things where we have to all get you to the places.
Those are must do, yeah.
Yeah, those are absolutely must places. But
you forgot one thing.
What's that?
You have to take me to Abbott's for custard.
and Savoya. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Savoy I pick up and I bring to you. you get delivery. He comes to the hotel room. He's got Savoya on the in his hotel room when he gets here. Which it may be one of the reasons why we're friends. I deliver Savoya to you. But anyway, so we're at Don's Original. And we're sitting, we have to go to Don's Original. We're sitting at the lunch counter. And Gene goes to me, he goes, this tastes just like the hamburger that I had with my dad as a boy. There's a there with Gene. There's a sentimentality. It's kind of neat. It's kind of neat.
It chokes me up to think of what I said, because I meant it. It's very bizarre, because the meat, for some reason, I don't know, they must have the same purveyors for 60 years, which I doubt. But Amazing. The
Yeah.
hot sauce, the pork hots. You can't get a pork hot outside of Rochester or Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing about Jane. Although I tell you one thing about you, I wouldn't want to cross you. It's just you don't seem like somebody who tolerates BS very well.
If you cross me, I'll uninvite you to dinner.
Oh my God!
Let's leave it at that.
Oh my, ladies and gentlemen, that is a private joke. Oh my God, that is brilliant and it is awful. I mean, it really is. Oh my God, Gene, I just love you dearly. I know. Well, the other thing is that you and Nita get along really well. I mean, she's become a good friend of yours in her own right.
She's like a little sister to me. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, she knows how to put up with guys like us. I guess that's what it is.
Oh, for sure.
I would invite you for dinner. Oh my God, I got to tell somebody that story sometime. But okay, so let's talk about some of the other people you met. That's always a great story. Do you have a story about somebody who's either better than you thought they were or worse than you thought they were? You know, I like sometimes you like stories about somebody who was a real jerk, and you know.
Nah, I'm gonna leave that subject out.
Okay, how about somebody that really impressed you? Now, you know, this is the question they always ask people in music. You know, it gets tiresome. I'm going to apologize, but you know, who is your inspiration when you were a boy?
Well, one of my inspirations, I have a picture of him on my wall here, was Dwayne Eddy, and he was an inspiration to me. And I had my 75th birthday 5 years ago. And my friend Vito Picone, the lead singer for the Elegants, is friends with Dwayne Eddy. He got me a picture that says, "Happy birthday, Gene, your friend Dwayne." And Dwayne Eddy, Scotty Moore, and James Burton, and Cliff Gallup are the four guitar players that inspired me and enthused me to play.
Now, I have to tell you my ignorance. I am not familiar with Dwayne Eddy. I'm going to have to look that up. Maybe I can play a couple of clips of what is on the show or something.
You got Rebel Rouser. He just passed away. He's got Rebel Rouser, 40 Miles of Bad Road. He invented the twanging guitar. Matter of fact, I went out when I was a kid to Duke Spinner's music store and bought the exact orange Gretsch guitar Dwayne had.
One of the things that I think the general public doesn't know about guitars is, and I've talked to a couple other guys that are guitarists like you, but you all seem to have a number of different guitars, some more than others. I mean, do you have a lot of guitars, or do you have like 2 or 3 that you like?
I got 15.
15 guitars.
Yeah,
and
I store them at my friend's house.
Well, I think the general public doesn't understand that. You know, that they all have a different. They have a different feel. They have a different sound. There's some that
yeah, and they get some for free.
Yeah. They just want you to have a picture with the guitar so other people buy the guitars. This is, like, again, excuse me for asking silly questions, but you know, so what is your favorite guitar? Do you have one that you've bonded with, that you've had for ever, and this is the one that's
I've been playing. I got one I've been playing for about 17 years. It's the Fernandez Stratocaster.
And what makes that? I mean, it sounds like it's your friend. What makes that your friend? I mean, what makes that your guitar?
It has become my best friend.
Yeah, and what in particular has? Why do you have that bond with that? I mean, what is it the performance? Is it the sound of it? Is the way you pick up and feel of it? Or, I mean, what is it?
Yeah, all of those. The way it feels in my hands, the way it sounds through an amplifier, how it reacts.
I guess that's a little bit like me in my car. But believe it or not, I just sold my my Challenger Hellcat. You know, my Challenger Hellcat, nice car, but the thing is, you've seen the car. It's a brute. It's absolutely brute. And I have my Shelby convertible. I like the Shelby convertible because I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. I like the way it drives, you know?
Speaking of cars, don't you have a book coming out?
Oh my God, I do love you. I do love you dearly.
We'll be right back to talk more after this.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Martinizing Dry Cleaners in Fairport. During COVID days, I discovered a dry cleaner that would pick up and deliver. I discovered Martinizing in Fairport. I later discovered that the owner, Todd, was an ex-corporate employee who went on to start his own business just like I did, and his customer service is beyond compare. Google rating 4.9 with 143 reviews. 4.9. Call 425-4242 or martinizing.com/Fairport.
This is Don from my friends at Jack Greco Furniture. You drive your car, you live with your furniture. That's why Nita and I buy our furniture locally from Jack Greco. Hey, lots of old name furniture manufacturers switch to mass production, producing their furniture who knows where. Why settle for that? Jack has quality pieces made by true craftsmen, and if you need a custom piece, Jack can do that for you too. The season's upon us. Jack has quality outdoor furniture you won't find anywhere else. Go to jackgreco.com.
Well, welcome back. We are having a discussion with Mr. Gene Cornish, a member, inductee, more accurately, of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He is co-founder of the Rascals, who will be playing here on August 16th. And he is, if nothing else, today unplugged. Now, at the last segment, he said, let me see if I get this quote here. Speaking of cars, don't you have a book coming out? So he threw me this gift, and this we call it in the business a softball. And well, we're going to continue on with August just 16th. That sentiment right now.
Friday, August 16th.
August 16th. August 16th. August 16th. August 16th. August 16th. August 16th. On the 16th. This 16th. Friday, August 16th. Friday, the day before Saturday, August 16th. The 16th of August, in the day of our Lord, year of our Lord, 2024. August 16th. August 15th is not the date. August 16th. August 16th. August 16th. August 17th Eve. August 16th. August 16th. August 16th. August 16th. Hello, Dave. Dave? What are you doing, Dave? Don't do that, Dave. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer true. That's from 2001 in Space Odyssey, if you didn't recognize that. I'm not going crazy. Well, any crazier than I was, but there you go. That is a minute and 40 seconds of August 16th and some additional bullshit. Thank you. Bye. Rather than starting with, I was born, blah, blah, blah. It starts, I'm driving down the Jersey Turnpike. It hasn't been a good time because Stevie Van Zandt and us get into blah, blah, get into a problem. He was backing us and it compels you to go, it's okay. And now we're going to, do this, this journey into the past and how you got to be there. And every time you read the book, it's like page after page after page. It makes it. I'm not just saying that because you're my friend and I like you. I mean, the book is damn good. And a lot of these guys, they write these books and it's like yeah. I'm halfway through the book and I'm like, I don't want to read any more of this.
Well, Stephen was very important in writing this book with me. He's a music fan. He's a dear friend, has become a very, very close friend. He knows my life. He has recorded my life on paper, and I was enthused and given support by Debbie Davis to write that book. She said, "You should write a book." He said, "You have all these stories, and when something happens to you, these stories will go with you. So document them."
Yeah. No, the thing is about you, and we have this kind of feeling in common, is that if there's something left after you're here that wasn't here before, then you've pretty much done your job as a human being. You affected the world a little bit, and you much more than I could ever. I could ever do, but Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, that lives forever. And then you got the book, and the book lives forever. And no matter what you do, they can't take that. It's like that song. They can't take that away from you.
The records are our records. The book is the book. The TV shows we did, they show them now. You can see the Ed Sullivan on YouTube.
Now, tell the story. Now, you were at the, now it's the West Third Theater, but I guess it was the Auditorium Theater back then or whatever. And you as a young boy, your mother took you to a performance, and you decided then and there that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to be.
They took me to see the Everly Brothers, Buddy Holly, and Dwayne Eddy at the Auditorium Theater in Rochester. I was 13, 14. And we sat in the balcony. We went to the matinee. And I remember it was Phil Everly's birthday. They brought out a cake. And I turned to Mom and I said, Mom, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is what I want to be. It's like when I told my dad, I don't want to go to Columbia University. I want to go to Columbia Records.
Mm-hmm.
And so I promised her that someday I would buy her a house and a Cadillac like Elvis did with his mother. And we went to the evening show that night. And years later, 2013, the Rascals did Once Upon a Dream at the Auditorium Theater, and I told the story on stage.
Yeah, and you continued that, through your whole life. Was there ever a rough time when you kind of, did you ever question yourself in your journey?
It was a period, it talks about it in the book, that I did 30 years of substance abuse. 30 years daily. And I didn't touch a guitar for 8 years. And so I was busy getting high, but I doubted myself, and I thought it's over. And it wasn't.
Nah.
The good Lord watched over me, cared about me, took care of me, and loved me.
And you had to have, even during that time, still be in contact with your friends here in Rochester, it sounds like. I mean, you never...
No, I wasn't for quite a few years.
Really? That's surprising. That's surprising to me, because it seems that when you probably needed them the most, you didn't reach out to them then.
No. Well, we didn't have cell phones in those days. And at the time, I couldn't afford a phone.
That's a very, very good point. I mean, years ago, the younger people don't understand that you would vary your times to call somebody because it was more expensive at one time rather than the other. And people would call up and say, long distance calling from such and such. I mean, you couldn't, you really don't want to call Los Angeles, much less call somebody halfway across the planet.
No.
They don't realize it. And one of the things that I think the younger people don't realize too is that back in the day, you people in the entertainment business, and especially in rock and roll, you depended a lot upon the disc jockeys. The disc jockeys were the influencers back then, and there weren't. You didn't have disc jockeys. Maybe you had Casey Kasem or something like that. But the disc jockeys were pretty much local.
Well, I had Nick Nixon.
Yeah, Nick Nixon right here in Rochester.
Yeah, WBBF, Jack Polvino, Jerry Fogel.
Yeah. Oh, Jack, what a gentleman, Jack. I don't know the other two gentlemen, but Jack Palvina was on the show one day. What a gentleman. Oh.
Well, I got to talk to Nick Nixon years ago, and I called him. I got his number, and I called him on the phone, and he said hello, and I started crying. He goes, "Who's this?" I said, "You sound exactly like you did on BBF." I told him who I was. I was shocked that he knew who I was.
Oh, yeah.
So we had lunch together, and we're going to induct him in the Rochester Music Hall of Fame, but he was too physically unable to make it.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about. I call this the retail section of the show. So let's talk a little bit about more about where you're going to be. It's a theater at Innovation Square. Very, very. It says where it is. It's the theater at Innovation Square. theaterais.com, and you can go there and get tickets and see a spectacular performance. And like I said, I know I'm being like a broken record, but it's music that has woven its way into the fabric of America. I mean, when they do a ringtone, and the ringtone, "It's a Beautiful Morning," I mean, they don't do this with some schlub stuff. They do this,
I don't. Shouldn't I be getting a check for that?
Yeah, well, you should check that. You should check that out. I mean,
nah,
yeah,
that's okay.
Well, and the thing about
it's bad enough that you got to wake up. I'm not going to make it.
Well,
not going to make you pay me.
Well, it beats the alternative. It beats the alternative. Yeah, I told you, one of my philosophies of life is I'm pretending I'm going to live forever, and I'm only going to be wrong on one day. What the heck? So Gene, it's been great talking to you. I'm looking forward to seeing you. If you find some time, I know we're going to be hanging out a little bit, and I can cook you something else. I'd make a really mean saltimbocca. I don't know if you like saltimbocca or not, but we could do that. And definitely, when you get off the plane, I'll have some Savoia waiting for you, and you can have those wherever you want.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you again, Dom. Thank you, Rochester. I love you.
And we'll see you soon. And go to a ball game together.
Absolutely.
Well, everybody, thanks for listening. We'll be here next week, 10 to 11 Saturday on News Radio Wham 1180. But you can always get past shows on NoNonsenseRoundtable.com as YouTubes or any place you get your iHeart podcasts.
Thanks for listening. Tune in every Saturday from 10 to 11 on News Radio Wham 1180. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll make more.